This is going to be video number 63 on your Firearms Defense channel today. I want to talk about my favorite subject again here, which is law enforcement. And I have an article here that I want to show you that's going to be the subject of this video today. It's from the Daily Breeze here in the South Bay in Los Angeles, California. It's dated Thursday, June 24th, 2010. And what this is about, I'll give you a real good close-up of it here, so I'll show you what it is here. Okay, if I can get that in there. Okay, that's a close-up view of it here, as close as I can get to it. I'll read a little bit of it here to you. What this says, it's ex-Manhattan Beach police officer gets 30 years in team staff. A former Manhattan Beach police officer was sentenced Wednesday in Louisiana to spend 30 years in prison for drugging and killing a 19-year-old man in an apparent attempt to sexually assault him. And it's Nacogdoches parish judge imposed the sentence shortly after this guy's mother told Sean Shelton that she forgave him. Her son died October 30th, 2005 after he was found unconscious on the floor of his Shelton's Nacogdoches apartment. And it goes on here that, let's see, it says Shelton, who served as a Manhattan Beach police officer for 9 years after spending 4 years with the Sheriff's Department, resigned from the Manhattan Beach police force in 2003 after accusing his police chief and other officers of harassing him with gay slurs. Well, you look at this guy's picture here, I mean, he looks like a pretty hard case himself, so that's not, I wouldn't think, a big deal. But this is just an example of what I'm talking about with law enforcement. Now, I took Introduction to Law Enforcement about 40 years ago at El Camino College. And now, supposedly, before these people get on the police force, they fill out all kinds of psychological profile tests. They're interviewed by a panel of officers, you know, it's called the oral interview. So they're interviewed by a panel of these officers. They have to go through a couple of years of college and get law enforcement courses and stuff like that. And then they take a lie detector test on top of everything else to see if they've got any kind of problems or other. So they get thoroughly tested and all that, but none of these tests did any good. This guy was still hired, and he still killed 2 people even after that. So this is just an example, and he's not an isolated incident by any means. I mean, you go to Cops Run Wild, the YouTube channel here, and all across the country, SWAT team people are breaking into houses and killing people. This Aiyana Jones, a 7-year-old black girl, was just murdered in Detroit. A year ago, the SWAT team broke into this mayor's house in an exclusive suburb and killed his 2 lads. And these cops are just totally out of control. And this guy here that I just pointed out to you, he's by absolutely no means unique. He's pretty well representative of what's out there in the police force. It's like I said on all my other videos, that 98% of these people who are sadistic action junkies give the other 2% a bad name, and that's just about all there is to it, and that's all you can say about it. And now this is going to be a lead-in here to the other subject I want to discuss today, which is I want to discuss our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Now, people have a distorted idea of what the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms is. They think we have the right to keep guns in our homes and keep guns in our places of business and have concealed carry permits for the purpose of carrying and protecting ourselves against the predatory criminals out there. Well, that's only a secondary benefit of this. It's not, in fact, the main benefit. The main reason that we have Second Amendment rights is our founding fathers, in their infinite wisdom, what they knew is, they knew that governments are not a source of evil. Governments are the only source of evil. Our founding fathers gave us our Second Amendment rights and wrote them into the Bill of Rights and the Constitution expressly to protect us from the only source of evil, which is the government. Now, that may seem a little extreme, but here's what happens in other parts of the world where you don't have Second Amendment rights. Let's say you're in some banana republic down there, and you've got a 12-year-old daughter that looks good to the local police chief. But because you don't have the right to keep and bear arms down there, and nobody has arms except the police chief decides he wants your daughter and he wants to use her sexually. So him and 6 of his friends when the police force just come to your house, break down your door, and he molests your daughter and does whatever he wants with her, and there's nothing you can do about it because you don't have Second Amendment rights. Now, that's the sort of thing that would be happening here. The SWAT team would just go around breaking down doors and doing whatever they wanted with people, if we didn't have Second Amendment rights to protect ourselves. And that's what our Second Amendment rights are for. The Second Amendment rights are to protect us from the government and from the government abuse and from the government evil. And that's exclusively what they're for. And that's going to do it here for video 63, and I'm going to see you on video 64.